Mike Sandoval, Remax Gold. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jeff Silver. How's it going, Mr. Big Man?
That's funny. It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you as well. Yeah, how you been?
Oh, good, thanks. The market's changing.
My gosh, it has.
Yeah.
It definitely has.
It's nuts right now. There seems to be a whole lot more sellers coming into the market and not as many buyers.
A big influx of inventory, not a lot of buyers.
Right.
We're now pivoting now, correcting possibly.
So along those lines, I'm just curious, can you give me 5 things a seller can do before they put their house on the market?
That's a great question, Jeff. So when we're going to be putting a house on the market, first, obviously, that person needs to talk to a realtor because that's going to be the person who's going to guide them through the journey and have step-by-step process of what needs to be done. But real quick summary. So first, you're going to want to talk to a realtor, say, hey, I want to sell my house. They need to find out where they want to move to. So if they're upgrading or moving to a different area, I would have the buyer first, before they put their house on the market, find out the neighborhood they want to move to, what's the price point for what they're looking for. Once they have figured that out, neighborhood-wise, square foot-wise, talk to a lender, such as yourself. Say, hey, Jeff, I want to move to Fair Oaks, and I want to make sure that I want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. They're priced in the 700s or whatever the case may be. We want to make sure that that buyer is qualified to be able to make that purchase to the next home if they need to sell their home or to take the money, and move to the other, or if we have to, vice versa. Once we've figured that out, then the realtor is going to want to walk through the house and kind of walk through, make sure if there are things to be done, deferred maintenance, that gets taken care of. It's kind of like having a buyer walk in, like you're in the shoes of the buyer. You're walking through the house and you're saying, hey, I really would love to have this done if I was going to buy this house. So put yourself in the buyer's shoes and walk through your house and see if there are things that should be done that would not only help the house sell faster and for more money. I would also declutterize and make the space bigger because you're selling square footage. That'd be the third thing. You want to sell square footage. You want to make it less personable to yourself, so that way the buyer can imagine themselves living in the house.
So like take down personal pictures off the walls and off your shelving and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Makes
we want to
sense.
make sure that next buyer walks in and says, hey, I can, imagine my couch here. I can imagine my pictures here and kind of make it their own space. And then lastly, it comes down to pricing. I would tell that seller, hey, go on to, other websites and find out what homes like yours are selling for. So you have an idea of what homes are selling for in the marketplace. What may be the value and what you want may be two different things, or what the seller may want. So it's always good to know what homes are selling for that are like kind in your neighborhood. Maybe visit an open house or two in your neighborhood to see what the competition's like, so you have an idea of pricing. Obviously, the realtor is going to do an in-depth search of pricing, but at least you'll have an idea when you meet with that person.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, Mike, and I appreciate you bringing that forward. Along those lines, now a house has been on the market for a little while. Let's just say the seller's house has been on the market and it's just not selling. Maybe they're getting a few showings in the beginning, but then that tapers off and it's really just sitting there. What is your advice to the seller in that case?
That's a really good question. And actually, we're experiencing that in today's market, Jeff. So I would first talk to the seller. We would have to sit down and do a new market analysis of what the new inventory is like and if there have been any new comparable homes that have sold recently, and see if our list price is still in line with the recent comparable solds and what the competition is out there. Because buyers use the law of substitution. They will not buy something that's more expensive for a like-kind product, right? So they want to make sure that your house is in line with the other homes. We also want to revisit the marketing. What kind of marketing is being done to help sell the home, and revisit it? What's working, what's not working? So you'd, of course, want to check that out. There's 3 main factors a home won't sell. It's condition, it's going to be location, or it's going to be price. You can't change the location, right? That's where it is. The condition you absolutely can change. So if you have something that needs to be changed, new paint or something like that to help sell the house faster, you could always change the condition. And again, price in this market is key. If you're not pricing the home correctly, it will sit on the market.
Well, that makes a lot of sense to me, because when you think about it, there's a price that every home would sell, regardless of location, regardless of condition. Somebody will buy it.
Absolutely.
Based on price. So price sounds to me like the most important aspect when selling your house.
And you nailed it. That's 100% correct, Jeff. Pricing is key. And if we are switching into more of a buyer's market, or if the market is now shifting and we're correcting, we have to be in line with the market. What your neighbor's house sold 6 months ago, 8 months ago, may not be what you sell your house today.
Right. And that does make a lot of sense. I guess to put it in perspective too, for people who don't sell houses and are not in the real estate market every single day, the idea of thinking of a pen, a writing pen, how much are you willing to pay for a writing pen? Notice I say, how much are you willing to pay? It doesn't matter what the seller wants to sell that pen for. If I want to sell this pen for $200 for just a normal Bic writing pen, are you going to buy it for $200?
Of course not.
No, of course not. So generally the buyers are who set the market price.
That's absolutely correct.
Makes sense.
True market value.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. You've been awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Take care.